Hey there, thanks so much for tuning into Duck Bricks. I'm Chris, and as part of our prize for winning LEGO Masters Season 4, we got a chance to tour the LEGO factory in Billund, Denmark. In fact, we were given unprecedented access because not only were we allowed to take photos and videos, which you normally cannot do on a factory tour, but we also were given clearance to post this on YouTube. And so I'm so excited to be able to share with you my experience touring the incredible LEGO factory in Billund. Now, when this tour took place back in September, we got a chance to see some of the new pieces being made for January 2024, which was absolutely such a treat because I even got to see some of the new Ninjago wing elements being made before the sets were revealed, which was really cool. And this tour had it all. Dual molded pieces, rubberized tires, standard LEGO elements, all sorts of machinery. This was an unprecedented access tour to all the different facets of the LEGO factory, and I can't wait to dive into it right now, so let's go. Getting a chance to tour the LEGO factory was honestly a dream come true, and I never thought I would be able to do it, but you know what? Here we are, and I'm so excited that I was cleared to be able to showcase some of the footage we captured during the factory tour with all of you. Now, as you enter the factory, there is a really nice lobby area where you can see that this display here is consisting of every single one of the factory employees who have sealed away a message inside of the LEGO suitcase piece to be opened in 10 years in 2032. It's really cool and a really nice touch because obviously this was kind of a way to commemorate every single person working at the factory, and you can just see just how many people are actually present in the factory itself. Now, the crazy thing is, when you go on the floor, I barely saw any people at all, because for the most part, the LEGO factory is fully automated. There are lots of videos out there on how LEGO produces LEGO pieces. It's definitely no secret, but it was one thing seeing a video versus actually being there in person. Going into the factory, there was this really cool LEGO fashion dress on display. They seem to have actually molded base plates around the contours of a human body itself, which was really cool. They actually said they used like heat or something to create that, and it was just a bit of an art installation as you enter the factory itself, as well as a giant scaled up minifigure that read Danmarks Insamling, which LEGO employees do pretty much every year and get a free exclusive minifigure in exchange. Entering the factory itself, there were all sorts of different pieces of LEGO artwork, and it was really cool to see even references to the animated LEGO story on the mosaics on the wall, which you can see right here, as well as a ton of different memorabilia commemorating just milestones in LEGO's history. Going around, there were tons of different offices with some rare LEGO sets in them. It was really interesting seeing so many different unique LEGO sets on display, but of course, it was soon enough time to actually enter the factory itself. Now, this was really special because typically, no phones are ever allowed on the factory premises. In fact, you normally have to just put your phone in a box and you are not allowed to take any footage, no photos, no videos, no nothing. But thanks to the LEGO Masters team, we were allowed exclusive access to the LEGO factory, and we actually got to go in, take footage, take videos, take photos. It was so cool, and I'm so happy that I'm actually able to share this with all of you. Of course, there were a few areas that we weren't allowed to capture footage of, but by and large, we were allowed pretty much unprecedented access to the LEGO factory, its internal workings, and we got a full understanding from start to finish of how LEGO pieces are created, and even got a sneak peek of some of the newest sets that came out in 2024, at least parts of those sets, which was rather baffling to me, and I was kind of worried about not knowing when I could publish this video because, for instance, I noticed that pink tires were being made at the factory. Of course, we now know that that is for the 2024 LEGO Creator set, which was the roller skate set, but at the time, this was basically in September, so we had literally no idea what the pink tires were for. We didn't know if it was some sort of a production test or if it was going to be in some sort of LEGO set, and we were basically told that, yeah, you know what, if you happen to see pink tires appear in a LEGO set, that's when you know it's okay to publish this video and not a moment sooner. So I was personally really worried that we would never see pink tires in a LEGO set and it was just a test, and then I would never be able to publish this video. But thankfully, it is now January 2024 and those pink tires are indeed in a LEGO set, which means this is good to go. Of course, all the photos you're seeing here are basically just in the entrance of the factory. There you can see that no devices with camera in production, so thank you LEGO for actually letting us do this and kind of break the rules a little bit by being able to showcase this on YouTube, so huge shout out to the LEGO Masters team for that. And as we went in, we were greeted with something really cool. Now, the first thing we saw here are these robotic arms, which are basically producing plates in which I believe a lot of the elements are stored and stacked and counted on, which was really interesting seeing them actually be producing pieces that aren't typically LEGO parts, but just components that are used in the factory itself. Venturing deeper into the factory, we got a chance to see how the actual ABS pellets were refined into plastic bricks, which again, don't really have a ton of footage of that because I couldn't really post footage of that process. It was really interesting, and they basically take a ton of pellets and refine them down into the bricks themselves. But here, this room is where the magic happens, and I was really happy to be able to showcase this because here you can actually see some of the Lego factory molds in progress. These are certain Lego elements which are being produced in the molds themselves. We could actually see the molds making Lego bricks and producing them on the spot, which was really crazy. Here are minifigure hands, which are typically produced on sprues and then separated out, which was really interesting, seeing so many minifigure hands being produced all at once. Very cool. Now this bin, you can see a bit of a look at some of the different elements that were being produced in the factory at that time, including some of the brand new Ninjago Dragons Rising gimmick wings, which was the first time I was seeing those in person. So as a Ninjago fan, I was going crazy that I just happened to stumble upon some early Ninjago exclusive pieces just randomly being made. And here, yes, those are the infamous pink tires. I was really worried because a lot of them were in this kind of test area, so I wasn't really sure if I was able to even ever publish footage of this, but thankfully, the pink tires are out, we know what set they're from, so this is good to go. Now here's a bin of just countless minifigure hands being assembled, and I found it really interesting how they kind of do it piece by piece, where they first make the hands and the torsos and the arms, and then they have separate machines that actually pick out each hand and stick them into the sockets themselves, which was really cool seeing the production line of the minifigure hands. And then one really awesome thing about the factory is that you can actually notice that they had these robots just going around and transporting all of the pieces. Everything is fully automated, and our guide was able to explain to us that they were able to traverse the factory floor by navigating based on tiny dots on the floor, which you can barely even see with the human eye, but when you go up close, you may notice that they actually are using them to navigate around the floor itself. Every single one of these moving crafts is equipped with sensors to detect if anyone is in its path, so it won't run anyone over, and you can see those dots right there on the floor, which allows all of the different components to navigate around. Here's a look at some more of the tires in production. It was really cool because a lot of times there's a lot of footage out there of how Lego bricks are made, but this factory was producing some of the most interesting pieces as well. Not only were standard single mold plastic pieces being made, like these dark blue Technic elements here, but they also were making dual molded elements, dual color elements, Duplo heads, which were starting off as unprinted. The amount of variety in what we got to see was insane, and oh my goodness, I wish I could have just scooped my hand in and grabbed a ton of these Ninjago Dragon wings because those are so cool. I can't wait to use those for mocking purposes, but yeah, you can see them being manufactured here where, again, I'm just kind of guessing here based on what I can see, but it looks like those two tubes are injecting two different types of plastic into it, one transparent red and one transparent orange, allowing you to get the very unique dual color look and feel of the pieces. Now these were some of the most interesting ones to see. The wheels here are from Spike Prime, and here you can see that basically the production process for making Spike Prime wheels is first by making a plastic component, which is purely plastic, and then injecting the molten rubber around the piece itself, allowing it to act as dual molded with plastic and rubber, taking a much longer time to produce the pieces, which you can see here. It was taking quite a while to make them, but there you can see the raw plastic pieces and then the rubber being wrapped around them right down below as you go on lower on the piece itself. This was one of the coolest designs out of any of the pieces being made, and if you're ever curious, here's what those wheels look like without the rubber on, which I've always wondered but never actually got to see until now, and easily was one of the most interesting things to come out of the factory. Now these frames right here gave us a lot of good, well maybe not good, gave us a lot of memories of LEGO Masters because those pieces were used in basically every single one of our builds. It was really funny seeing them being made at the factory itself, and this was honestly just a dream come true. Going around and seeing all sorts of different components being made for the first time was very interesting as a lifelong fan of LEGO, and if you're ever curious, here's the machine that makes tires. As you can see, it kind of injection molds them right there. There's a couple of different things and ways that it does it, and it just places them on different spots, I guess to cool. I don't really know what's going on here. There's a lot of very complex machinery just being used to create Lego tires, and this was one of the coolest things to witness, just seeing the actual rubberized components of Lego in production itself. Now, this is really interesting, lots and lots of pieces being made, even the machinery used to make Technic pins, which I assumed was going to be maybe a little bit different because the molding is quite unique for those, but no, it just was a matter of molding them on sprues completely vertically, and as we got a chance to tour around the factory, here's just some general footage of different pieces being made. Now this was very exciting to me, of course. Pink tires, was very curious about those, especially because this tour was in September before we knew whatever set they were going to be coming in. I actually thought they were going to be for LEGO Friends, so I was proven wrong by the fact that they were for Creator 3-in-1, but I genuinely had no idea what they were going to be coming in, and here you can see the production of some of the plant-based elements as well. Now moving on to one of the other machines here, this one was quite interesting because this was utilizing these sprues there and just kind of throwing them out to create pieces used for LEGO bicycle wheels, I believe. Bicycle wheels, as you know, are normally dual molded with transparent elements as well as rubber elements, and they were pretty much all done on a sprue. So after a very long time actually doing the molding process, you can see that there is a little robot arm that grabs the sprue and throws it out, which was so satisfying to watch and listen to in person. Here's another bin of the different colors of Ninjago Dragon Wings, this one in the flame yellowish orange and transparent yellow color, which again was very cool for me to see because these sets had been rumored text-based, but we never actually knew what they looked like until this point, so I got a bit of an early look at some random LEGO Ninjago elements, and I was going crazy with speculation as to what the final sets would look like. And finally, for the Bionicle fans watching this video, for whatever reason, there was this up on the wall of the LEGO factory. What is it? I genuinely do not know. I don't know why it was there, and our tour guide didn't either. But you know what? Bionicle lives on in the LEGO factory. Of course, very, very cool to see these automated robotic machines traversing the factory floor. These are the types of machines that you can actually see. LEGO has posted a lot of footage themselves on how the factory works, but for Robert and I, it was really cool because we actually are working on a startup that involved us doing a factory tour of a completely different industry like a month before this. So it's very interesting seeing just different types of factories running all around the world, especially how different this one was compared to ones that we had seen in the past, and just how automated it was as well. As we exited the factory, there was a nice little display dedicated to the history of the LEGO Group, the system in play, and LEGO establishing itself as a global brand, all adorning the factory walls, and it was really cool seeing a dedicated section for LEGO history being showcased here, and yes, even a LEGO Friends character up at the top as well. Our tour concluded in deep storage. This is the warehouse where LEGO stores thousands upon thousands of copies of LEGO pieces just waiting to be put into future sets. I wish I was able to get a closer look at the types of pieces included, but again, this was pretty much all roped off, and all we could do was take a very brief look at the factory itself, where automated robots going up and down the hallways were able to go and grab different styles of bins, stretching all the way up. It honestly kind of reminded me and Robert of the Ministry of Magic from Harry Potter because it just seemed to keep going and going all the way to the ceiling and all the way down. I would not want to be stuck in here at night. It was pretty creepy with the lights off, which was how it was when we entered, but very, very interesting to see just how LEGO stores all of their pieces. And there's that robot going alongside a rail and grabbing the next LEGO parts. And with that, we've basically summed up all of the footage I'm allowed to share from the tour. It easily is one of the top 10 LEGO experiences I've had in my life of being able to tour this, and I just want to say a huge, huge thank you to LEGO, the LEGO Masters team, and everybody involved with making this tour a reality. Lastly, we were able to take home some exclusive printed 2x4 bricks that said Molding Factory in Billund, Denmark, which was really special, and of course, they are on my wall right now. Alright, and with that, we have summed up our tour of the LEGO factory. How cool was it to see the wings of the Ninjago gimmick sets, which you can see right here, actually being made in the factory? Hey, who knows? Maybe some of these wings were the ones I actually saw being made back in September. So that was really amazing. Huge, huge thank you to our tour guide as well as to the LEGO Masters and LEGO staff for just putting this tour together. It kind of was a last minute request. I was asked what things I wanted to do in Billund, and a factory tour was on the list of would be really nice to have, but I don't know if you can make it happen. And they made it happen. So that was so cool. It was really interesting experiencing the factory just functioning and creating LEGO pieces. And I certainly can't wait to see, hopefully in the future, maybe there'll be another factory tour, because I'm very curious how they make a lot of different pieces. Like, I want to know how they made the CCBS friction elements, injecting rubber friction into plastic elements. There's so much more I'm curious about. But as it is, I hope you enjoyed this factory tour. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe for even more LEGO news, reviews, discussion, and analyses coming your way very soon, and bye for now.